contract. Did I go through that?
No, sorry, I logged back on, so using.
So we would handle all of that, basically. It's running through the planning department. It's not running through the ag board. It is. The ag board is advisory. It's a plan to the planning department and the county.
Okay,
So
who writes the RFPs?
the purchasing department.
And then who is that? Can you give me a name?
John Tully.
Not telling, okay. And when do we need to get him the criteria for the consultant and like, how does
You
this
still have to do
work?
the application. for the
But we can do
grant.
some other stuff. So whether or not we can actually do stuff. I like to know what the process is before we
The
get to
process
it.
is writing the application to the state, which the state portal isn't even open yet.
I know that he said it will be available in October.
He said end of September or October. So I need to work on that first. After that's sent, it's going to take several weeks to several months to get decision back from the state. Once we get that, I will go to the legislature, ask for the funding line. I have to set up lines for the budget in the county budget. Then we go to purchasing, do the RFP. So we're looking at winter, spring.
I know that it's gonna take a while to get all this done. I wanna have an idea of the process and get ahead of anything that we can get ahead. So
So
you're
that,
telling me that purchasing, is that what you said, Tully's and purchasing? So purchasing won't entertain any part of writing an RFP till after those other things are done?
I mean,
Okay, that,
for us,
I'm just asking.
yes.
There needs to be a line item in the budget so that then there is a something to hire for, so once the line item is established, then they can do an RFP to fill it.
I mean, for example, I'm working on a RFP right now with purchasing for a transit study. I got the funding started last October. Had to go through it. It didn't get approved until April 1st. I wrote the details of the RFP, got it to them last week. They're putting everything together. So the RFP is basically all of the details from the
I know
bidders.
that, I know what it is.
Okay, but the scope is written by me or, I can get advice from you. So, it's basically the details of the tasks. And all of
No,
the framework for that is what,
I understand all that. I just want to know all the steps so that I can be aware of them as we approach them.
but again, the planning department would be handling that. We get advice from the board, but it's a county function. It's a county plan.
I understand that too, but the requirements for the consultant, which would be in the RFP, you take advice from the board.
Mm,
That's what I was told.
if it's an RFP, it's an open invitation. It goes out. We don't really get advice if it's an open RFP. If it's based on the price, then yes, I can get advice on consultants we'd like to try and.
I'm not talking advice on which consultants we want to apply for it. I'm talking about what should be in it. Obviously, it's gotta be certain qualifications. Have you, do you have the degree? Do you have the experience? What have you done? Blah, blah, blah. I understand.
So that would be based off of other plans, like in the county. I mean, I'm part of a planning director website that there's at least 5 or 6 other counties that are working on their RFPs and have.
But you know that, according to Ags and Markets, the board has to approve the consultants and then we send it to the legislature yes, that's what New York State Markets told me, that when you come down to the consultant, the board approves who they would like the consultant to be, and then you send it to the legislature for them to approve it.
That's not the way the plan is structured. They do not.
Well, I'm gonna-
consultants.
But to do the ag plan,
They will approve the plan and they will approve. Once the plan, but once
so we have
funding
to,
is in place, the budget line, that's the only things that will go to the legislature, honestly. They will see. the grant come in and the funding, they will lose the funding and the preparation of the plan. They won't see it again until the plan is put together. So
Yeah.
everything else will be going through.
But they have to approve the consultants, but we have to approve it before,
Legislature does not.
I'm pretty sure they do.
Okay,
I will check on that, but I was
It-
told when I called New York Ag and Market.
Sure.
Said that this is the procedure for
New
you.
York
to
Okay,
put
but
together-
as
and
we've
X-ray
learned-
County.
okay. Here's the thing. It sounds like we have many, many months until we're even at that point, right? We haven't even put in the application. That application isn't even open, what I'm hearing. Do we have everything that we need? And I think the answer is no, so that's why I just want to, let's identify the things that we need to get that application in, and then we can figure out the comparison of New York State versus Putnam County politics.
So with that, I had circulated the application,
Mhm.
with all of the questions. I mean, the main questions that I would like assistance or guidance from the, ag board is what your goals.
Where did you circulate this?
You know, that several months ago.
Is it on the SharePoint?
Don't think so.
Okay, can you put it there?
By email. Sure.
'Cause I don't recall like getting it.
It was from Jeff Kehoe, who sent it down.
Are you talking about the recommendations for, what are the key elements of a good county agricultural protection plan? Is this what you're talking about?
I think that was part of the,
Yes, I don't know.
And you're saying you need the answers to those questions before
that's part of the application.
it's part of the
So
application.
if
Okay,
there's- I would like guidance.
yeah.
But perhaps redistribute that and continue to work on it.
Yeah, do you mind just like resending that? And then I can add it to SharePoint.
So do you have the 2021?
This all
That's
seems
right.
fine.
That's
Okay, I've got this in chat. Okay, but he said, when he sent this to me, he said that it's gonna be different. The,
But it's something that, so we can start looking at it before it opens.
right, so what in here is it that is this what you're talking about? You sent to everyone to ask for help? So,
So
Project
in the back,
funding.
in the back page. We summarize the goals. There's a couple, I think it's.
it says briefly summarize the trends and conditions of the county that warrant agricultural farmland protection members. Is that what you're talking about? Okay.
And then I think that what we would like to see in the plan, what's our.
Goal.
Ultimate goal.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Would it be helpful if I saw from neighboring counties, what they maybe have done in their plan? So that you guys would have something to work from or inform you?
I think we've looked
You
at
have
those
that?
already.
Okay.
Yeah, we've looked at examples. I think we all have at least browsed around at least a little bit. I think we know, I mean, I saw floating the 2004 plan. It's
Yeah.
pretty straightforward as to, or like, we can generally,
And we've talked about
Right.
this, I think, what was it, last year, 2 years ago?
yeah, we've gone through this already.
What is the function of the ag plan? Like, once it gets approved, everything's done, however it gets done,
So,
it then goes on to.
So the plans in general are the foundation of any actions that you take. So
Okay,
to have the ag districts, we need to have a viable plan
Yeah,
of
the
the
plan.
districts. You know, the board is supposed to follow the recommendations of the plan.
that's in the plan. So the plan sort of serves as a roadmap and a
Yes.
playbook as to how
Exactly.
Right.
things go and,
and at the end, it has that summary.
okay,
And then it has little symbols as to what's pertinent, what should be done right away, what should be done in 2 years, what should be done in 5 years.
cool.
And so those are the responsibilities. To the right, it tells you who's responsible to implement those things.
Got it.
So the ag plan is written And then they glean that chart from it, and then we're supposed to, whoever's responsible is supposed to make those things happen.
It's the 8-year roadmap.
8-year roadmap, okay, cool.
Well,
And
it's,
then, sorry,
That's what they're each period is
No.
supposed to be.
well, for the.
No, it's not 8 years.
It's-
8 years is the review.
I know that's the review period, but my point is that this is, in the 8-year period, you have an opportunity to revisit. You're supposed to look at the plan, it's supposed to provide you.
Yes, but they recommend that you revisit your plan. I believe it's every 5 years, 10 years, 10 years to rewrite it, but review it every 5 years.
when was our last?
2004.
Okay. And then one final question, sorry, solar, because I'm just here, and solar and water last. Do we have a new role in this?
Yes,
Mhm.
We do, but as in our seat on the ag board, or does our board separately have a role?
Board doesn't have a separate role other
Understood.
than, I mean, anyone in the county
Can
can
help.
comment on it and
Mhm.
recommend, have advice. It will be, once there's a draft of that available, we would have public hearings and send it out for public, comments.
Mhm.
So, soil and water would definitely be valuable.
Cool. Awesome, thank you. Thank you.
so the ag board, in addition with some farmers and some members of the public, is the steering committee for the ag plan.
Cool.
So you guys do have a vote. Is there anything else that you wanted to say about the ag plan?
So just to correct that,
Yeah.
I don't know if it would be the entire board.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think it's a
Which-
subcommittee or something.
right. We talked about this last time and it's on this. It says invite farmers and members of agricultural support businesses to serve.
Correct, I just said that. I said we invite other members of
Yeah,
the public.
yeah.
So it would be the county planning department would invite, so it's not running through the ag board.
Okay, I'm gonna check on that because I was told that the ag board is the steering committee along with additional. As you just read.
I'm just looking at the Jeff Kehoe document. We've talked about this at last meeting also.
Okay, item number 4. Updating the factors to consider land for inclusion, blah, blah, blah. Basically, resolution 139 was, this member, it was ruled inaccurate. If anyone wants to sue the resolution 139, I brought it with me. Yes. It's one page. Dave.
Oh. I'm trying to think, what's the difference here? There's. Some of these things are really complicated, they go on for pages and pages.
And there's a few, there's.
Oh, there's one. What's
Some
that?
have AEM form.
Was that supposed to be passed around also? No, I think it's different.
So. I've written down some things. That I think would be. It should be included. Page. Anyone else who has anything, just raise your hand and we can discuss what you think. So, at the last meeting, we talked about people, coming up with ideas and then we were gonna summarize them and then put them in a memo. That
Mhm.
we think that, well, 139 should be replaced by blah, blah, blah. So when evaluating lands. propose for inclusion. One of the things, or actually several of the things that I think that should be in there is the current and ongoing use of the land for agricultural production, land suitability for continued use, the level of existing agricultural investment and infrastructure, the operations contribution to the local agricultural economy, the applicant's demonstrated commitment to agricultural activity, the applicant's agricultural background, experience, education. I find that that's important. These are hard to follow. The on-site visit, that's important to consider. And
Christine, if I could just interrupt for 1 second, what are you reading from?
my own notes.
Oh, sorry, okay. I'm like, oh, am I reading Mandarin right now?
My own notes. Those are the things that I think are important to be in the new resolution. So thoughts, concerns, questions from anyone else, everyone else?
Is this an any of the above or all of the above?
It's so, if I read it correctly, they're not supposed to take one item out of the resolution and say, you don't satisfy this item, therefore you're not included. From what I understand, it should be due to the.
I'm trying to make sure I'm still recording properly.
Does the applicant meet the majority of the criteria? And so again, it's subjective.
Majority is limiting too.
Sorry?
Majority is a limiting factor too. I would think that any of the above significant would be qualified. I mean, again, we don't make it, we had a limiting factor before.
Right.
If we put out a majority of this list and you get 48% of the list and and some of them are very strong, that doesn't seem very like it would be a very good.
Well, that's
measure.
why it's a documented process.
No, I'm just adding to this because the
And some of
list
the
seems to go on
companies
long.
listed would cause legal problems as well.
These are
I mean, just
suggestions.
excluding someone on the basis of their educational background.
We're not excluding them. This doesn't say,
It's not a factor that should be considered. People of all different, educational backgrounds can be, proficient in farming.
and people that have an extensive educational background should be given the opportunity to be included.
Of course.
So I'm not saying it's limited, it's limiting
I'm
their.
saying it's problematic to make that a factor.
It also could be like education out in the field, right? It doesn't need to be.
Correct, it doesn't say
education in
academic,
schools.
it doesn't say academic.
Yeah,
I understand. I'm just saying the wording.
I'm not saying I agree. I'm
It's
just
not,
saying that, like,
it's ideas.
I understand. You said you wanted feedback. I'm giving feedback. I'm saying some of the factors that you meant would be problems.
Well, after we get everyone's solutions and we put it together in a memorandum, then we fine tune it and then we agree on a draft and then we send that draft to whoever it needs to
Well,
go.
respectfully, I mean, the board is not a legislative body.
No, we're an advisory body. That's why we put everything together as a suggestion.
Okay. Is there a reason that you're speaking to me in that tone? I mean.
I didn't
it's
recognize
illegal.
you. I didn't recognize you. I know we're a little lax here, but I didn't recognize you. You're not an actual board member, and I appreciate that you're here for a specific function. But we're discussing possible things to help include people, not to exclude people.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
And I just said that it's not a definitive thing. We are working on it.
That's great. And I think that we can all be civil to each other. I don't think there's any reason to
Yeah,
have that
actually,
tone.
if we just take, I actually don't recognize you. Sorry if we've met before, but I guess. do you mind
I'm
just-
Heather Bessie. I'm a senior deputy county attorney with the county. I was
Okay.
asked to attend by Erin Crowley because there's obviously been some difficulty. So I'm here to be able to assist and answer any legal questions that you might have as
Okay.
this comes up, or any procedural questions. And to basically help facilitate so that we can make it as inclusive to as farmers as possible and to avoid future problems.
Thank you.
Okay,
And also just so you know, if there's a specific legal question that the board has in terms of advising the board, we would need to go into executive session so that I can give you legal advice. But generally, I'm just here to assist however I can.
Anyone else like to share something they either would like to use to include or use to exclude?
So you appear to be the only one that made any kind of a list, right? Are we all? is that all?
Everyone was asked.
Right, but you're the only one that seems to be
I believe.
putting one in. All right, so let's go, if we have time. I don't know how much more we've got to do, but I was gonna say, why don't we quick go each bullet and see what everybody thinks, and maybe we can get a memo drafted and something started. You know, the list being read, I forget what the first one was already, so
Okay.
if we hit each one and then kind of see what everybody thinks, if anybody has any problems, Heather might have a comment or two, and then we'll put a check mark and say, okay, this one looks good, or whatever, and then you can somebody can try to draft something that we can all, like, let's get the ball rolling on trying to move forward.
Okay.
If I may, through the chair,
Yes.
nice. This document that was passed around,
Yes.
how much of this is the current, at the moment, criteria?
So
This is the current.
except for the soil, we were directed through the chair of the legislature to not use that as a reason for including or excluding.
Okay, so that's already been.
That's been stricken.
Okay. So, but the rest of this is still in place, what you're going to read, I'm gonna go item by item. Is in addition to or in place of things on this list, and maybe that's a larger conversation we have right now.
What I was led to believe is that we're gonna substitute something new for 139. I don't know how it works, if you can rescind 139 or replace, or you put this in as a new resolution that supersedes 139. So when it gets finally drafted, it would be, I guess it would say, and this supersedes 139 from 2007, I think.
Got it.
And there actually was a revision that was circulated. Did we get it?
It wasn't circulated.
No, it is circulated here. You're talking about the one from Kevin's office?
Yeah.
This is the one that they put out. And I had already, because we discussed this 2 meetings ago, I had already made my notes.
So now what I'm holding in my hand is not the current resolution.
No, it's just a revision. The
Proposed revision.
Yeah.
So this is what we need to read.
So your list proceeding basically is in a response to.
No, this I made a month ago, or more than a month ago, when we were asked, well, what would you guys want to see in a new resolution?
And since in this new one that they're giving us now, did you see any of the improvements that you sort of are trying to add?
application. And it's directly in response to the application. I think for less, so the idea is to.
Where did this come from? Who's the they?
On the basis of
That came from the Kevin's office.
justice.
So Heather, are you kind of explaining what's in here?
Yes, I was just explaining the basics of the revision.
Could we not have any side conversations, and if you want to be recognized, please ask. to
I
be
was just
recognized.
explaining what the document was.
Okay, that's a side conversation, so if you want to explain to everyone, just
I'm
ask to
happy
be
to.
recognized. Nicole, would you?
Yeah, I know, I guess if you were explaining to Brett, I just wanted to see if you could explain.
Yeah,
Sure, so,
So the
excuse me, I didn't recognize you yet, I just wanted,
It's a little heavy-handed.
No, it's not heavy-handed.
I don't like it. I don't like it that you're heavy-handed. Let's be conversational and go around this table and work together.
we are, I
But
would
I
like
don't
to
like
have some
that
sense of
very much.
order. I would like to have some sense of
She was
order.
about to start the
I didn't
interrupter.
recognize her yet,
That's a little heavy-handed.
no, it's not, it's happened before I
I just
took the
object.
chair,
but-
but you can object and
Thank
it's
you.
duly noted. So Nicole, what is in front of you now was sent to the legislative chair from Kevin Burns' office recommending a new resolution to replace 139.
Okay.
I don't know exactly where those recommendations came from. We were not consulted on it, so that's why I'm handing it out, as well as asking you to make some comments on it. Heather, if you'd like to be recognized, go ahead.
Thank you. In response to the litigation that the county underwent, the legislature and the county executive both came to the law department and asked for guidance in making a revision. One of the things that was clear, and I think you guys mentioned it too, this is only one page. These things are usually pretty long, right? When you looked at the initial resolution, was that it didn't cover a lot of what is a very exhaustive law.
Sorry, there are side conversations, but I can't hear what she's saying.
So what was clear was that there wasn't a lot of guidance in the law itself as it was written into what questions it was that you were supposed to ask and what are things that were impermissible to ask. What are things that are impermissible reasons to exclude someone.
Based on, impermissible based on law.
Yes, impermissible based on the law. And the entire purpose of the ag district, or the creation of it, was to help farmers. It was to protect farmers. It was to protect farms that had been built around and become an island and had very little resources and power, that were being persecuted or pressured by governance. And so the purpose is meant to be inclusive, not exclusive. That said, it's not meant to be taken advantage of either. They want real farms, real people with real purpose to be behind it. And so you guys are meant to help with that balance, to be the checks and balances, to look at, is this really, the sort of things that was intended to be protected, or is it not? So the purpose of the revision that we did was to pose these factors as questions for you to ask and consider. Not any one of them are meant to be exclusive of someone. It's just meant to help you reach that goal of an informed decision. And so everything is posed as whether this, whether that. These are all just factors based upon recent case law, both in this county and in the state, for you to consider when you're making these decisions. And it specifically said no single factor is meant to be dispositive of any application for inclusion. And that's because you are supposed to have some measure of discretion. And this is just to help that discretion be guided by law. So that was the goal of this revision, and that was how this revision came to be.
And I'd like to say that because many of the legislators don't have farming experience or don't understand this, the new resolution is meant to, for lack of a better word, help educate them as to, I don't want to say specifics, as to broader ideas about farming. Farming just doesn't mean I'm growing 60 acres of corn. Farming means a lot of other things.
So they are, sorry, I just want to, our comments are welcome. I'm actually here to direct it to our comments on this are welcome.
Yes.
And will be looked at and added.
I don't know if they'll be added, but
They'll be considered.
Considered before it goes into effect in January.
Yes, this is just a draft. It's not final. It's not being voted on, and it's, been shared so that you can comment, you can ask. I cannot say what's going to be.
Or I'm just wondering
incorporated,
if, we
but
get
it's-
to have say.
Yeah,
Actually,
so I wanted to comment, the language about secret is incorrect. I don't know where this came from. This would only be a type 1 action. Any changes to a commercial property,
This is from the secret statute. You're talking about this, if it represents a change in zoning of a parcel over 25 acres, a secret review must be conducted under, and it's like.
and that's the type 1 action category. There's also unlisted, which is anything that doesn't fall under. So if it's
Correct, this only refers to that specific section. It
But
only
you still
refers
have,
to
if
that.
there's any changes to a commercial property, they still have to go through a secret review. So you're
Correct.
basically making it sound like only in this scenario.
that was just only in that scenario must the type 1 action review be required. That's what it was writing there.
No, but it's not.
So Barbara, if I may, why don't you write out what you think it should say, and that will be included in our submission, okay? So then that's all, that probably for now, okay?
Yes.
Okay, I appreciate your suggestion, Trish, but I have to be here, I have to leave at 11:15, so, everyone has both, everyone has both handouts, oh no, sorry,
Not everybody.
you don't, and you don't have mine. I will send that out, I will,
You can have,
I will make
I
that
can give you, you can have mine.
Okay, thanks. From
Yeah, they went down.
there were more
You
from
need one,
Kevin's
too?
office.
There was a pile.
There was a whole pile.
Nice to meet you.
There are plenty of memos from Kevin's office. I will. My suggestions, I will send out,
Warning them over there.
Yeah.
my suggestions, I will send out to everyone. And then you guys can compare them, yes, Mike?
Is there a timeline on this? Like, are we expected to have comments, notes, our thoughts on this?
I haven't been given a timeline, but I can
Okay.
inquire.
Well, I just want, because with the next meeting is end of September, is that when we were looking to get this back?
I don't think so.
Okay.
But I'll check.
Ultimately, it should be done before the next.
Oh, yeah.
Period, so.
Absolutely, absolutely. They
So,
want this to be in effect January 1st, so as long as we get them something
Sooner rather than
to
later.
give them enough time.
So,
I'm sorry, before, just one more question, just before I lose it. And this is a question for Heather. The, whatever is adopted, anyone that's already in ag district would be grandfathered in, and then what happens?
Until the review period.
In 2 years.
Yes, until
Then
the
anyone
review.
is open, anyone already in must meet this new criteria within the next 2 years.
Yes.
Thank you, sorry. Laura.
so. For the plan and this, we want feedback. Is it better if we do like a SharePoint? Like working draft and everyone could put comments on like.
Well, I sent out, 2 weeks ago, I sent out the bylaws as a Google Doc, hoping that people would make comments. Ruby's the only one who did.
Make sure we're opening it.
Yeah.
I could open it, but I couldn't like save it or do anything.
I was able
So,
to.
so we could do that, but I ask everyone to please engage in that, and also a little bit aside. I ask you to please respond to the invitation so that we only print enough and we don't kill more trees than we need to. So we have whatever papers are gonna be handed out. So please respond, and this way we know how many people are coming to the meeting. I know it's a little aside, but
I'm sorry, I thought that was only for online.
no, it's to let me know that, it's to let everyone know who's coming. Okay, so number 5 is,
I'll just be here every time, so.
okay,
I don't see the emails, but.
number 5, the ag budget. So you told me
So
that you.
I have the ag plan in as an item for my budget, the match for that, we still need to get the, so this is a tentative 2026 budget. We are undergoing budget process right now. We submit our request to the county executive. They have budget meetings and decide whether to take things out, add things, whatever, and then it goes to legislature. Legislature makes decisions in October, passes it for January. I put in $1,000 under agricultural board. I actually was hoping to use it for like reimbursements for travel expenses or whatever came up. I actually had a conversation yesterday with our auditor, county auditor. No other boards authorization to get this kind of reimbursements. So they're looking into whether it's going to be allowable. So that's to be determined. It will cover printing for the plans once we have that done.
many boards are there?
There's a lot. We have I have a Transportation Advisory Council Board. There's Soil and Water, there's an Economic Development Board, there's a traffic,
You know, how make, you have to let someone.
So that was really an issue around the reimbursing members for travel, but the,
travel or any other costs you.
so the asks for like printing
So-
and
Yeah,
material.
I think a few months ago, I said something about there should be something for printing, because this stuff costs a lot of money. And we get emails and you printing out 20 pages at home. And nobody's getting reimbursed, and Christine's making 50 copies for
So I
everybody
make
here.
copies here.
Oh, well, okay.
Bar makes some, it comes out of hers, but
You know, I don't think that we need reimbursement for travel.
no, so,
I don't think we need to, if we're going out to look at the things, my feeling is I don't need reimbursement for travel to go look at applicants, but, I mean, that's just my.
So-
I mean, I was thinking it could also cover, there's conferences,
Right.
local, like we have there was one over at the lake, I mean, it was $25, but I mean, I don't know, so
So-
I'm going to look into it.
okay, and in addition to that, we wanted to use, we talked about this, you missed a couple meetings, we talked about, fulfilling the obligations that are in this plan is gonna cost money. Doing education, doing this, doing that, having a table at the Putnam County Fair or whatever kind of fairs we decide is relevant. And then I wanted to ask you from Soil and Water, I was told that in 2024, there was a budget for the ag board in that, and then the money disappeared. Do you know anything about that?
There was Urban Legend has it that there was
Significant amount.
$10,000. What I can tell you is that, and Dave has heard me say this 100 times, I am currently the treasurer of nothing in Soil and Water, meaning I have yet in the 3 months I've been on the board to see a single financial statement.
Oh, so you don't know
despite
anything about
many
it?
requests. So I couldn't answer that for you, but what I would say is that, at one point, and Barb might have a better, understanding of this, but at one point, I believe there was $10,000 allocated for assistance to the ag board.
So, the ag board plan, the grant is for $100,000 on paper. It's 50% from the state, 50,000, 40,000 from staff time.
Right.
For the plan, and 10,000 has to be.
Right, but this was not-
The 10,000 was for the plan.
For
Um,
that-
and we
From a year ago?
I requested it.
Okay,
And then when we were talking about doing that, I had requested at that time.
okay, so you requested it and then it disappears? How does that work?
The legislature gets to decide at the budget meetings. what
Right, so-
is and
so-
what comes out.
Oh, so they basically said, no, we're not giving you.
There was,
that.
I mean, I don't know if it's a little more complicated. Soil and Water used to be part of planning. It got moved out. So part of that shuffle, things got lost.
Yeah, I think it was adopted by the legislature. I think that happened.
So it might have gone over to DPW. I didn't have access to it.
Right.
Okay,
The Soil and Water, the other thing just to say, the Soil and Water Board is a much different board than the other boards in the county. The other boards in the county are, as we said, advisory boards. Soil and Water is meant to be an independent local government subdivision.
yes,
So, as Barb said, for many years, this was under planning, under, I think, Barb's predecessor and Tommy's predecessor, DPW. And now it's at DPW, and there's a lot there. Just to though circle back real quick to the $1,000 for reimbursement and stuff. The county is sitting on $90 million. And if I had a vote or a say, I would encourage you to ask for $1,000 to every board.
Well, I
Or
don't
more.
have control of all of
No, I
ours.
know,
It's not
I know.
me, so,
I know, and please know, it's certainly not directed at you, but I think your head and your heart are in the right place on that. There's money in the budget, I think a lot of us are volunteers, so anything that can help ease our burden so that we can do what we need to do to help the county, I think would be great.
So who determines what we can spend that money on?
So I would put in for reimbursement requests, so it would come to me, I put in for the request, and it goes through, we have the county auditor reviews it, finance.
Big lists.
Yeah.
Okay, so
It's like a checklist,
so-
county executive.
So we have to
ultimately.
outlay it first and then maybe we'll get reimbursed? That,
Yes, I've already started asking if this, like, what they think I can get reimbursement for. So-
because we had a discussion, you weren't here at one of them, where we talked about different things. We wanna do a sensory board for the fair. We wanted to do some more interactive things for the fair to get people a little more interested in what it is that the ag board does and how it helps them, even if they have an office job. So all those things that,
So some of those things, I have a planning department budget too for printing, so depending on what it is, I mean, we'll talk about it as it comes up.
Okay, but-
Some of it I can,
so.
I can get printed, we have a printing department, so I can get those made
Right,
up.
but some of the other things, like I said, we wanna do sensory boards. They're physical things. My question to you, obviously, we'd have a whole meeting on it and we decide what it is that we want. Before someone goes out and buys it and maybe doesn't get reimbursed, is there a way to tell?
So first off, we should see if the county can do it, or even Cornell. I mean, we have resources and can do it if there's something that would benefit all of us, so.
Like,
Just do it that way.
Sensory
instead of-
boards, so there's,
Yeah.
okay,
Instead
okay,
of like, you laying out the money for it.
okay. Right, here's a lot. Okay, so the ag application. And then move on there here. The ag application needs, we've discussed this and most of us have said that it's ambiguous and it's confusing to some people because it's the same application we've had for years. And I know when I filled it out in 2010 and 11, the first time I filled it out, it was wrong. Because what it means is different than what I thought it meant.
Which part?
I see this.
The rented.
So number of acres farmed and number of acres rented, and then even the principal farm operation is, I think it needs to be expanded. So I'm sorry. It says dairy, goat or cow, cash crop, grain, cash crop, vegetable. Aren't all the crops supposed to be for sale? Or, so that's my point. Cash crop. What if you're growing corn to feed your livestock?
Well, that's why it says cash.
I know, and there's no, unless someone else can show me where it says crop for livestock or just crop that you're not selling, you're feeding your livestock with.
But that wouldn't qualify for,
Your principal farm operation.
the principal is what you're making enough money to qualify to be in the district. You need to have the 10,000. And
Yes, I know, I understand that part. The livestock types, the equine, definitely, because I have that experience. The equine, there's 3 different types of equine, you're only listing 1 on here. Aren't there other kinds of trees that you can grow besides Christmas trees?
I will say, can I
Um,
jump in here?
Nursery, yes,
There's another, which I feel like,
okay,
I also don't think that, generally speaking, the issues that we've seen with the application are not that one section.
okay,
The rented has come up, like that section has been confusing for people. The fact that it doesn't say submit, or it does. Yeah, so the section where it says number of acres owned, number of acres farmed, number of acres rented. Right, so we just, that has come up of applicants being like, okay, is this how many I am renting out to another farmer? Is this what I am renting from another farm? Like the language isn't quite clear.
I like that too. Also, I mean, with showing if they have an addition to what's already in, there should be a category to
Right.
differentiate. What's already in the district.
Like,
So-
do you have a parcel already in,
Mhm.
Is this,
please list?
do the renters have to fill out any level of application as a part of this? Like if the landowner is submitting the application and they rent it out to another farm operation?
So that's another kind of ambiguous thing, because
We had this
Wasn't the
conversation.
landowner always gonna be the one?
well, so we had, I think it was Bowen Farm, he's leasing land from someone, and he put it on his application. But
So you-
like,
Somebody else is leasing from him.
no, he's leasing,
Land for hay across the street, up the
Okay.
hill across the street.
so you are allowed to be in the district, as a renter.
yes, I know, but it doesn't make that clear here. Like, who owns the land that you're renting? Do you have permission to
Right,
put it in ag district?
yeah, so
That's,
maybe a category of, something that is a separate signature from the land property owner in that case.
Yes.
And it's by parcel too.
yes,
It's the application per parcel. So some of these questions we clarified when you, by each parcel, I'm renting this from so-and-so, it's that parcel, so.
That's a really good point, if I may, is that the parcel application process is something that's sort of overlooked in the application, is that in order to be in the land district, the parcel gets in. And so sometimes people are applying with multiple parcels and they may own all of those parcels, but at any point they could sell one of those parcels. And so if the parcels have not been consolidated so that it's one parcel all getting into the district, you risk, and this is just something for you all to consider, you risk a circumstance where someone gets into the district, now has valuable land that's in the district, because they coveted to be in the district, and they could then sell off those parcels independently, and now you have 8-year period where you might have otherwise unqualifying parcels in the district. So just something to think
But
about.
that happens with all of them, I mean, we've had a lot of change, if you go down the list, I have it on SharePoint of all the properties that are in the district. I mean,
That have been sold.
Rainmaker was, yeah,
we've also had people list the parcel and it's already in the district. So they shouldn't have been listing that parcel on here because it's already in. My point being, same thing, can everyone take a look at this? It's available to everyone. Do we want to do the SharePoint thing too?
and I actually started looking at this on my own, looking at some of the other counties.
Yes, we do.
I mean, there's a wide range of applications out there, like that just is like very, very simple, so I'll try and put those on there too.
So I think also that whatever gets decided as criteria that we are evaluating people on should at least have some sort of reflection in the application. But it's come up where it's like, okay, it was in our criteria that we're required to follow, but the applicant doesn't know that, we don't have the information, it just doesn't make sense. So they need to reflect each other.
Like stop people from applying who wouldn't otherwise fit the criteria.
That's all also a part of education, and once the resolution is passed, we can.
Maybe as
something with that.
a top part, we could put, before filling out the application, please see, the requirements,
Or at least freaking attend the meeting, so you have any idea of how to fill this out, like.
Yeah, maybe we could require somebody to come to a meeting before.
Okay, so also there's the agricultural environmental management worksheet. Tier 1 is very, it's not specifically for us, but I felt that there were some questions on here that perhaps might help us make this clearer, so I'll pass out these two.
What is that?
So it's just another.
The AEM Tier 1 worksheet,
Okay,
do you know what this is?
I do.
Okay.
I
thought you would.
Yeah, okay.
So as I said, I thought there were some questions on here that might help us. Obviously not everything. We don't need to change the whole thing to look like this, but it had some, what I felt was pertinent questions. So if anyone wants to take a look at these, and so.
I,
SharePoint, yes.
Can I ask a question, just to very quickly, as people are putting their comments or thoughts on the Reso 139 situation. We did some of us were at the NRCS yesterday, and we did a pretty interesting exercise regionally where we were sort of ranking and prioritizing certain things that fit the region in terms of a separate thing. But I thought that might be helpful here because Dave brought up a good point about like, is it a simple majority of the criteria? And Heather brought up a good point that these were worded for questions and everything else. I wonder if it also would help if everybody on the ag board came up with a ranking of the criteria, which piece of the criteria is more important to consider than maybe other pieces of the criteria. That's just an idea as you go through, just throwing it out there.
I agree with this. If anyone has any thoughts on that, what they think is more important than another part, please make it known. Okay, and with that, I would like to motion to adjourn. All in favor? Okay, it is 10:18.
17 on the.
Oh, sorry, 11, sorry.
All right, thanks, Jenny and Crystal. See you next time.
Thank you.